Hey guys, today I had a request to answer someone's questions about their little parrotlet who got eggnet and laid an egg. So I'm going to show you video, not because I'm criticizing it, because I want you to see what they are trying to do for their parrotlet, and I don't blame them when you don't know what else to do. I think this is smart, but we're going to talk about making a couple little corrections that are going to really help make sure to keep things healthy and make sure to ensure the best chance that we're going to maintain health for the parents and for the babies. I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond. I have over 22 species of parrots. On my shoulder is not a parrotlet, that is my golden conure, and in my hand is not another parrotlet. That's my orange-winged macaw, Tico, and Beatrix. And they are joining me today. I have been cleaning cages all day, so I didn't have time to do anything else, but I really wanted to get this video out. So here are the three most important things that I'm gonna say about breeding the parrotlets in this case, so that hopefully you have a more successful experience and your parrotlets do well. Number one, this may be counterintuitive, but a cotton bed or a bed of like broken up paper towel or cardboard, it may work. Actually, I don't know, but a long time ago I was told that mold can grow in it, and the babies and sometimes the mom will in fact poop and pee in the nest, so there is going to be something to grow mold, and so that becomes a dirty nest box and they're breathing that, and that's going to not give us one of our pillars, which is a clean environment. So one of the things you want to do is go to, I think, just about any pet store, probably on Amazon.com too, or Chewy. You can get some shaved pine. You want that shaved wood. Now, I'm going to tell you that I don't know this for a fact, but I strongly suspect that the wood has not biotic, but anti stuff in it, so that it's not going to get moldy and gross. So that's really important. The other thing is, actually, when we are breeding, we want to make sure, like I said, for that pillar of health or of cleanliness, that their box stays clean. So because they do poop in there, we do need to keep our eye on the box. And then if the box starts to get dirty, when we can, however we can, we try to block mom and dad's access, try to either take them out or whatever it is, maybe if they're out of the box and eating. And we take the babies out, we take all the wood shavings out, and we replace them so that the box maintains clean. On average, I do that, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 times. A lot of it, of course, depends on how many babies there are and the babies themselves. Some babies are bigger poopers, right, sweetie? Hi, Bo. So that's number one for our cleanliness pillar. Number two, for our health and diet pillar, please bear in mind that if you kind of put on a real survival of the fittest kind of mentality, the biggest scream, the biggest bird, the biggest beak is the one that wins. But when beaks in the wild are up against other animals, like monkeys running around the trees, stuff like that, they don't always win, so that by the time we get to a little parrotlet, they really don't have access to a lot of fruit. And I'm not saying they don't have access to seeds, but I will tell you that I do not feed seeds to my parrotlets once they have babies, not even the little parakeet seeds. Millet I would even do sparingly. Why? Because my experience and my observation has been that with parrotlets, the seeds get impacted in their crop and there isn't enough liquid, and it can actually cause them to die. So that is just something I do not do at all whatsoever. That means that when I have parents, while they're laying eggs, I'll feed them anything but not fruit. These little tiny 30 to 40 gram parrots are not going to get access to the nice, ripe, yummy fruit when there's bigger birds, monkeys, and whatever else is running around in the trees or bushes. So that's just not going to be super good for them. And when they have babies and stuff like that, I just don't want them to have that extra fructose. That's not necessarily good food for the babies to grow on. So no seeds and no fruit. So when the parents are laying the eggs, that kind of thing, I don't mind them having seeds if I want to give them seeds. But once they have babies, I do not give them any seeds. Sometimes I even sprinkle like some millet or some parakeet mix on the fresh birdie breakfast, the fresh foods. But for the parrotlets, I won't do that. They get fresh food straight, no seeds at all. I don't want to lose babies that way. So that is the second thing. And it's just super important to make sure that those babies, if they hatch, that they can grow up nice and healthy for you. And then the last thing is, if you end up using something like the water bath dish for your parrotlet's nest box, I think that's not a bad idea. The parrotlet probably went and did it themselves. I would just throw something like a little towel over it so that it's dark. The babies are going to be born with their eyes closed. They won't open their eyes until they're about 2 weeks. And they really seek out that dark space because it basically gives them the sense of safety and security. That means they can rest better. That means they can develop more. If they feel scared or threatened because they see things, like especially as they're starting to open their eyes, you know, they see people moving around in the room, if you have a dog or whatever it is, instead of seeing a nice stable environment, if they see things moving around, it may contribute to being a little stressed out and not developing as well. So for me, it's really important that they have that wooden nest box, because that's, you know, a nice dark space inside for them. And we're back to the wood, which they do really, really well with. And of course it emulates the wild, but if you can't do that, that's fine. Make sure the plastic stays clean, because there's another surface that's going to unfortunately help mold grow, right? The wood will absorb some of that liquid and the plastic won't. It'll hold it and keep it wet. So that's something just to be aware of and figure out how you want to work with that. I will say that actually this is so much so true for me, that when you pull babies, like when I do take the babies and I start to hand feed them myself, no matter what baby it is, a parrotlet, a conure, they get put into some sort of bin, which emulates a nest box, and again with those shaved pines. And I'm getting groomed all over the place today. Mwah, mwah. Hi baby. Hello. Yes, I love you too. And I like to keep it dark for them because they feel safer and more secure. I have some parrotlets I am hand feeding right now, and they are getting ready to wean. They are fully feathered, so unless you know birds, you might not even be able to tell if they're an adult or a baby. But they are still being hand fed. They are still relying on me. And I just moved some of them into a cage so that they can start to adjust. They go from the nest to coming out and hanging out on a tree in the wild, so that their feet start to do things like hold on to something round, the way wood would be, a perch, a branch. And they just start to adjust. So we modify a cage for them. We modify it by giving them a solid bottom, because at first their feet aren't developed, and giving them some, not dowels, but pieces of wood, a branch that has unevenness to it, more of a natural branch. And you could just get a perch from your bird store kind of thing, your local bird store, but that lets them start to practice perching on a flat surface, but on the flat surface is the branch that they're perching on, so that if they fall, it's what, half an inch or however tall the perch is, but that way they can practice. So I've got mine in this modified cage, and I put an upside down cardboard box on there with no bottom so that it can't get wet and moldy. And I cut out a door so that they can go in. So, it's kind of like a little house. And all the babies went straight in there, and they're hanging out in there. Why? Because it makes them feel safe and secure. Am I coddling them? Not in a negative way. Absolutely not. I'm making sure that they can focus on developing. We already know that when you're stressed out, your body doesn't work on growing and healing and developing, that kind of stuff. So I want them to feel as safe and secure while they develop. They will come out when they're ready, and then they'll stretch their wings and they will fly. They will be confident. They tend to be sweeter birds, happy, healthy, and that's because now they've got well-being. So don't forget our 3 things. Number 1, make sure to use a substance that doesn't let mold grow, like those pine shavings. Number 2, I would watch the fruit, but certainly no seeds, otherwise the babies probably won't make it. At least I learned the hard way, and I wound up having to try to wash out the crop of a 2-year-old baby and a 3-year-old baby. You don't want to have to do that. I don't recommend the seeds. And number 3, make sure that their space is dark so that they can develop safely, securely, and comfortably. Thank you for watching Bo and I in this blissful video. I will catch you in the next one. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below, and I'll see you next time.